This is the Surly Grognards for September 18th, 2018. This is Peter Bowman, and as always, I'm joined by my good friend and co-host, Eric Carlson. How are you doing tonight, Eric?
I'm doing all right.
Excellent. So, this week, we got some email. Bardic DM was kind enough to send in a couple of questions and a couple of brainstorming concepts that he'd sent in before and we hadn't gotten back to. And I think we're going to get back to the brainstorming. We're going to be doing a brainstorming episode this week.
Shocking.
Do want to quickly touch on things we've been up to. We'll try to keep this shorter than usual. Mostly because I haven't really been up to much.
Yeah, I've been pretty laid back this weekend. So
Yeah.
or this past week.
I played a bit of. I've been playing a little bit more Star Trek Online than I had been. Wanted to try out the new Ambassador class, Tier 6 Ambassador class.
Almost the same.
Yeah, you're doing the Klingon equivalent.
Yeah, the new Vorcha.
Which I got one together on one of my Klingon character because I wanted to level because I was going to work on her for a little while after I finished up the Jem'Hadar arc on my temporal agent. And finished leveling her ambassador. So I'm like, oh, you know what? I'll fuss around with my Klingon because I want to do the Jem'Hadar arc at some point with my actually Klingon character because I think that will be kind of fun. I also want to do it at some point with my Ferengi.
Quark's Lucky 7 and all.
Yeah. That was no small part of it, honestly. Burdick Team actually in the chat asked if either of us are going to give Bard's Tale 4 a crack. The new Bard's Tale computer game. Maybe. I might.
I've never played a Bard's Tale before. So
I played the original Bard's Tale ages and ages ago. And I remember liking it, but I don't remember much about it. I played a lot of the really early computer RPGs. I played the original Wizardry. The granddaddy of them all. I tried replaying the original Wizardry because I found a download of it that, with stuff to let you run it in DOSBox. That's some hardcore BS.
Right.
It's first edition AD&D, and it is not forgiving.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's, a product of its era, and, it's kind of neat, actually, still, and it's not like, it's unlike anything you're going to play today for the most part. Except for, maybe some of the harder roguelikes, maybe.
Yeah, I haven't played any of the Bard's Tales, so I've got no opinion one way or the other.
Yeah, so I'll probably try.
I
might try it out.
have no opinion.
Yeah, but
something I do have an opinion of that just crossed my path. Live action Avatar: The Last Airbender is happening.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, the original creators are involved.
I don't care.
Yeah.
We don't need it again.
I mean, I love me some Avatar, but it's...
We have the animated series right there.
Yeah, I know. It's... I mean, I can kind of see some of the logic behind it because animation is still the bastard redheaded stepchild of visual media.
I guess they want to do something so people take it seriously, maybe?
The thing is, everyone who's ever seen it is like, oh no, this is one of the best shows on television. Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, it doesn't need to be live action.
Being live action is going to hinder the show.
Yes.
We do not have the technology to do what that show does animated live action.
That's exactly what was my thought. It's going to limit the show and cost a fortune at the same time. Because there's stuff that happens in The Last Airbender that can't be done except via animation. And
again, we have it already. We don't need it again. Do something new. Please. Or at least find something that didn't come out like when did the original Avatar: Last Airbender come out? Like a little bit over a decade ago?
A little bit over a decade ago. I
Yeah,
think
find something at least like
yeah.
20 years old to remake.
Well, they're doing a new Thundercats too.
Again?
So yeah.
Sure, why not? Is it going to be live action? Please say no.
No, but it should be, because that would be hilarious. I suddenly really want to see people trying to act all serious while wearing cat face paint.
I was alive during Cats.
Yeah, so was I. I never saw it, but
Me
yeah.
neither. I've seen footage. I've listened to the soundtrack. I've listened to the music. Because Lord knows I know people who are obsessed with Andrew Lloyd Webber. I like some of Webber's stuff a lot, actually. Cats is not one of them. Oh, Lordy, Cats is not one of them.
Guy?
Yes.
Like
Phantom of the Opera, Les Mis, Cats.
Yeah.
Oh, it's an art style, Steven. Oh yeah, I've seen footage, things of that. Fine, go for it, do it. I don't care. Like even for the whole sort of angle of ruin my childhood, which they're not, because go ahead, ruin Thundercats. See what the fuck I care. Thundercats was shit. The original Thundercats is not a good show.
I liked Thundercats more than I liked He-Man.
Not hard. He-Man was even worse.
Yeah.
He-Man was a bad wannabe Herculoids.
Yes, that I agree with.
There's a deep cut for you. A terrible Hanna-Barbera show.
Pretty sure He-Man was also Hanna-Barbera.
Of course it was.
Limited animation, no one actually hits anyone. Lots of rolls. I remember that. Everyone rolled all the time.
I figured out why She-Ra was so much better than He-Man, the original She-Ra cartoon.
Why was that?
JMS was involved in it.
That explains everything.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah, and for those of you who are complaining about, by the way, for the people out there who listen to the show and are somehow complaining about the new She-Ra thing, it's it's against the creator's original intent, the original creator's intent. Yeah, JMS is all for it, so fuck you. Sorry, I know almost nobody who's listening is like that. I'm just, at least if you listen to us and are like that, I guess sure. I mean, but I look at the new She-Ra, I go, okay, cool. I'm not excited about it. I was never a She-Ra guy. Me neither. So it's but hey, cool. I'm not the target demo. Whatever. Never was.
if you want to go that way, cool. If you don't, that's cool too.
Do what you want to do. And I think I like the character. I do like the character designs.
I've just seen the one for She-Ra, so
I thought it was I thought it was interesting character design. Cool.
Yeah, it's an interesting way to go. I honestly have no opinion one way or the other.
Yeah, fair enough. Anywho, so yeah, we've been playing some Star Trek Online. I finished watching that terrible anime I was talking about last week. That not so good anime I was talking about last week, Island.
Oh yeah.
The ending actually made it more interesting.
Okay.
It still wasn't good. But it was better than I thought. Basically, it's at a quality where I can look at it and go, yeah, sure, go ahead, watch it. It's not the worst thing ever. I don't recommend it, but, I got myself caught back up again on how not to summon a demon lord.
Yep.
God, that show is beautifully dumb.
It's exactly it has an ideal alchemy for idiocy.
It is I will say the last episode was actually kind of interesting and a bit dark.
I kind of saw it coming.
Well, yeah, I didn't say it was surprising. I said it was interesting and kind of dark, which is true.
It was also right there in the opening.
Yeah, and it was not surprising. I agree with you on that point, Eric. Uh, but yeah, other than that, not been up to much. Uh,
Yeah. Just sticking around, doing the thing.
yep. So we should get to the campaign brainstorming bit.
Yes.
All right. So, hang on. Let me get. Where is? I had it just. There we go. Okay. So, Bardic DM sent in an email with a couple of questions, which we might get to this episode depending on how long the brainstorming takes. And two brainstorming concepts, which I'm going to read the both of them, and then you will see what we're going to be doing in a second. So his first one was rewatching episode 183 and the question of your favorite dinosaurs. I wondered what you would do for a setting where sentient humanoids live alongside dinosaurs, possibly mesh with fantasy or sci-fi setting, or both for that matter. The second question is in a recent episode of Grognards, you, referring to me, I think, mentioned you need something else on top of the concept of post-apocalyptic, so I thought maybe something like the Mayan calendar or Large Hadron Collider caused an apocalypse and emergence of magic. If nothing else, an excuse to fight dragons in power armor. Also, sorry for picking on CERN again. So,
But we all know what happens when CERN gets a time machine. It's just, we know what happens. We've seen that show.
I don't believe CERN is going to, even if they get a time machine, are going to turn into world-conquering dictators.
Well, no, because the dinosaurs are going to get in the way.
And that's where Eric came up with the idea of, what if we merge the two? And I said,
Yes.
That's great. It's like Cadillacs and dinosaurs, except, crazier, possibly.
Yes.
And there, by the way, is another deep cut. In case you weren't convinced that I'm an old man on the internet, there you go. Motherfucking Cadillacs and dinosaurs. Gav in the chat references Dino Riders, and Dino Riders also a good one.
Dino Riders is awesome. It had friggin' powered armored dinosaurs with people riding them.
Yep. Gav's like, I want to play this campaign. We haven't decided what the whole thing is yet, but so, all right. So I think we're going to start things off with, so it's going to be post-apocalyptic, and we're going to have dinosaurs. The Mayan calendar thing, kind of cool. And as much as I think the picking on CERN and the danger of the Large Hadron Collider is silly, it's the obvious answer if we want to involve dinosaurs.
Yes, because we could do a whole timeline collapse and multiverse wackiness, all like bleeding into one another.
That is exactly what I was thinking.
And picking on CERN is just a joke at this point.
It's become a meme. Poor CERN, they don't deserve this. They really don't deserve this, but it's happening anyways. So,
of course,
all right.
Deserve it. Look at the way they're dressed. Those
point the first. Oh God, that's terrible, Eric.
I know I'm a bad person. I'm going to hell. At least the music will be good.
I'm not convinced of that, Eric. Satan may like heavy metal, but I don't think he'll play it at the people who live there, who've gone to hell.
I'll just find Dio and make him play music for me.
No, you'll probably be locked in a room that is perpetual elevator music and smooth jazz.
No, I can find Dio. It'll be fine. I could definitely force him to play music for me because I'm bigger than he is.
Now, if you see Dio's torment as he's being forced to play smooth jazz.
Dio's torment is being forced to play heavy metal for a guy who's not that big of a Dio fan.
All right, we should probably get back on topic.
Yes.
At any rate, so I think we've decided on our sort of instigating incident that's caused the apocalypse to happen, which is something went terribly wrong with the Large Hadron Collider.
Yes.
Now, point the first. I don't think we should identify what went wrong with the Large Hadron Collider. That doesn't actually matter.
No, it's just something went wrong.
They turned it on, and shit happened. Nobody knows what happened because it went kaboom.
Yeah, it could be like the 780th time they've run that particular experiment.
Sure, something went wrong on one time they ran it, and no one knows what it was, and no one can, and it's impossible to figure it out at this point because it is no more. It has ceased to be. It is an X science project.
And somehow also a parrot.
Sure, why not?
It seems like the right choice to me. Make it a parrot. It turned into a parrot, and that's when everything went wrong.
So what you're saying is they accidentally created the infinite improbability drive.
Yes. Yes. Oh, I love that idea. Yes.
Sorta. I don't think it actually did, but you know. Gav's the point. Average people outside of CERN wouldn't have a clue anyways. This is also true.
This is also true.
But I think I think the answer is no one knows what happened because the Large Hadron Collider's, I guess, sure, is now a parrot, whatever. Probably a long dead parrot at this point since we're doing post-apocalyptic. I don't mean long dead, but parrots.
Sure. We can say the parrot's dead.
Or maybe the parrot's alive. Who knows? Parrots do live a long time.
I was thinking that I like the idea of the parrot being immortal and having his own little empire.
That's a little silly.
I know.
Like, that's a little silly even for us, Eric.
I know.
I mean,
I think you're right. It's probably a little too silly. Just a little, but a little too silly.
Parrots do live a long time, though, so...
Yes.
They are among the longest-lived birds out there, if not the longest-lived birds.
I know parrots live for a long time. I just have no idea, like, how they compare to other birds. So, it's not something I've looked up.
Yep, the larger parrot species are the longest-living birds, which may live for over 50 years. Longest, greatest undisputed age for any bird is a male sulfur-crested cockatoo, which died in 1982 at the London Zoo, aged 80. Well, all right then.
Yeah, it's a old bird. Probably tasted like crap.
Eric continues to be a terrible person. At any rate, so Large Hadron Collider went foom. And shit has happened. The question, okay, so the big first question is, and it's important only so that we can describe what the world looks like, and not so much, for factual scientific reasons. That doesn't matter.
Right.
But for what is in the world, what the world looks like. So is it just screwing up things with time, or is it screwing up things with time and dimensional stuff?
I like the idea of including dimensional stuff in there too.
Okay.
And when I say dimensional stuff, not necessarily alternate timelines or parallel realities, but like places where, like, say you're overlapping with something on the other side of the galaxy, or suddenly you could perceive 6 dimensions of space instead of 3.
Okay, that's a little gamma worldy for me, but okay.
A little too gamma worldy.
Yeah. The problem is, again, it's one of those gamma world's a cool thing, but it exists.
Right.
I kind of want to go somewhere a little different. I kind of want to focus on the dinosaurs. And so the question is, do we want to include the other question is, do we want to include magic? And my instinct is no.
Yeah, let's leave magic on the DL for this one.
So I'm thinking a mixture of sort of scavenged high tech and crazy, and dinosaurs and shit.
Yeah.
So here's the next question: are any of the dinosaurs sapient?
Debatable.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea that, like, yes, there are indications that, like, some of the predators, like, say the Deinonychus or like some of the Tyrannosaurs might be sapient, but they're not tool users because they don't need to be.
I like that.
So it's really hard to go, so is it trying to communicate with me or distract me so that its friends can eat me, or both? Oh, this is troublesome.
I like that. I actually do like that. All right, so
And I like the idea of leaving it open so that game masters can make the decision for themselves.
I agree. All right, so I think I like the idea of there being a mixture of, the things pulled from the past. So we have, historical dinosaurs and
Yep.
things pulled from, potentially from, alternate timelines where dinosaurs didn't die out.
Yes.
So that we have these smarter dinosaurs that are from further along the timeline where they weren't wiped out, but they haven't evolved into tool users because they're motherfucking dinosaurs.
Yeah. I eat meat and I've got claws. That's pretty much all I need.
Nothing's come along that has forced them to need to evolve that much further. I mean, again, look at alligators and crocodiles
Yeah.
and sharks. Jesus Christ, sharks.
Although those clearly aren't sapient.
No, they're not. But my point is, when you're an apex predator, you sort of don't need to keep evolving.
This is true.
When
There's
you're
nothing that
that
really
much of an apex predator.
There's nothing that really forces further evolution in that case.
Yeah. Gav the chat. Sharks are point and click killing machines. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much. I mean, both species have adapted somewhat, but
Yeah, but it's like minor variations on a theme.
they've gotten smaller also.
Yeah.
Like
Well, an argument can be made for like efficiency and whatnot.
that's pretty much
And like there's a theory that like what happened to the Neanderthals wasn't so much that that they got outcompeted by Homo sapiens or like that there was a lot of interbreeding, so much as when the megafauna went away, the Neanderthals' primary food source went away, and there wasn't enough they couldn't get enough food otherwise. So,
right.
I mean, there's about as much basis on that as any of the other theories. So,
At any rate, so we have a world where humanity sort of so when the Large Hadron Collider went up and shit happened, most of the population of Earth ended up in a world where the backbone of their technology has been ruined for some reason.
right.
Like it caused the event that caused that it happened, caused earthquakes and tsunamis and volcanic eruptions and shit that broke everything and killed a lot of people, very very likely.
And stuff that just can't be explained as like quantum mechanics suddenly does a backflip.
Sure, like weird shit happened.
Yeah.
So, humanity's basically kind of having to rebuild from scratch, kind of, technologically.
Yep.
Like, we have we have knowledge. We have some scientists. What we no longer have are the fucking actual tools to make the tools that we need to make the tools.
Exactly. Like the infrastructure took a dump, so we no longer have like, well, I could really use some more lithium for this power source. Shame the only lithium mine was 10,000 miles away. Probably less than that, but yeah.
There are other issues too. Like we no longer have the, we might currently have the, we might currently have like, okay, we have this machine that can get us to some of the stuff we need, but it's gonna wear out and we can't replace it without the stuff we need to use it to get to.
Yep.
And if we can't get enough, oh dear God. So it's a question of I'm looking at there's a sort of an element of gearing down basically, where humanity's sort of
yes, I have also read that book.
Yes, it's a decent book.
Yes.
1632 by Eric Flint, and it's a series of books that he co-wrote with a bunch of other authors, which are of mixed quality.
I'm currently reading the one of his anthologies, so
Cool.
set in that world. But anyway, so yeah, there's a bit of gearing down. Um,
And
I think there's
dinosaurs.
also, yeah, and dinosaurs. I think it also makes sense that there are some people hoarding tech and doing and trying to ape. Basically, I'm thinking the Brotherhood of Steel
Yeah,
as a shorthand.
yeah. I, I think that would happen.
Yep.
B, it makes for some good variety.
I also like the idea that it's not a unified force; it's several different enclaves.
Yep.
Um, some are doing it for altruistic reasons. Some are doing it so that they could be God Emperor of their own little corner of the wasteland.
Sure. Yeah, no, I definitely think that's a. I think there are definitely some enclaves that do exist of,
Yes.
significant population. Some which are. I mean, we're going to have some of the classic post apocalyptic tropes. I mean, that's just going to happen.
Yep.
Partially because you're involved in this brainstorming.
I mean, I'm thinking back to A Boy and His Dog, like several like subterranean enclaves
Sure.
that have built like bizarre, weird practices that make sense to them, eh, like ritualized attempt to like recreate what they were a member of the society before, which is this bizarre parody of whatever happened, whatever time period we set this in.
Right.
Sort of like Boy and His Dog for those that have seen that movie.
All right. So we've got some underground enclaves of varying types. We've got a couple of tech hoarders up on the surface here and there,
Yep.
and maybe one of them underground too. Who knows?
Oh, probably at least one on ground.
Yeah. Um, I definitely think there's at least one group who are trying to domesticate the dinosaurs in some way, shape, or form.
Yes. Um. I
Because
like the idea that there's actually a super secret enclave that are domesticating the dinosaurs, and this is how we find out that one of the species is actually sapient because they've actually been enslaved.
ooh, that's good. That's good. I like it.
They've been enslaved, and they're being largely used as livestock. But at some point, they twigged on that humans will gather other humans, so they have outriders that go out and bring people back to the farms.
Okay.
So yeah, there are in fact your lizard overlords. I
Huh.
like the idea of it being one of the later stage Velociraptor / Deinonychus. You know, that sort of somewhere between large turkey and human sized pack hunter.
Okay. Sure. And
If only because it makes it easier for the players to fight them.
fair point. Well, I mean, both easier and more difficult. By being
Yeah.
small, it does allow them to be sneakier.
Yes, they're sneakier. They rely more on ambush tactics and whatnot. But it's not a big dragon fight with that you'd have with say a T-Rex or something.
Sure. All right. So my next question actually is sort of what is sort of the general level of technology available to the majority of people in the world? Because that's actually an important question.
That is a really important question. Um, I think it's largely going to depend on where you are, like obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But like if you had to place a guess, I'd say probably about 1950s for most stuff. But like
Okay.
cars and shit are tough. Cars and airplanes don't happen.
Well, I
Um,
would say that it's a case of I think that the tech exists to do cars and shit. It's the question of the resources needed to actually propel them.
yeah,
Getting crude oil and refining it is a lot harder because there's less crude oil because a good chunk of the planet has been swapped with, prehistoric Earth
yes. We kind of need those dinosaurs dead and in the ground. Thank you.
for a long period of time. It's like, okay, there used to be oil here. There isn't. There just isn't anymore. Because what became the oil is now roaming around in the landscape, along with the plants that also help become the oil. Fuck.
I like the idea of attempts at alternate fuel sourced vehicles, like hydrogen fuel cells or using kerosene and similar shit, with varying degrees of success.
Sure.
In fact, I like the idea of one of the more aggressive tech hoarders has figured it out and isn't like sharing that information.
Okay. I agree. I mean, with 1950s level tech, there is ways to generate electricity and power outside of gas. I mean,
Right. Yes, but what I'm saying is that it's all over the place.
oh no, sure.
Level.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying that for those who are saying how do you maintain 1950s level tech without gasoline? It's doable. It's just bulkier.
Oh, one of the tech horde empires is run by a sapient AI.
Which is desperate to keep, and the reason it's keeping its some of its secrets about power is it desperately needs to hang on to it so it can keep itself powered.
Yes.
Without electricity, it goes bye bye.
Yes. And it's all about like recruiting anyone with higher than average technical skill.
Yes.
By recruiting, I mean kidnapping and enslaving if necessary. But it'll give him a good pitch.
Oh yeah, no, it will start out all friendly like if you agree to it's if you agree to join up of your own free will on its initial pitch, things are great and hunky dory.
Oh yeah, it treats you very well for an indentured servitude, for an indentured servant.
Oh, it won't let on that. That's what you are.
Yeah,
it's subtle. I like the idea of it being subtle. Well. Maybe not. I don't think I. So it's an emergent AI is what we're saying, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to think like a human.
No.
Because, I could see created AIs thinking like humans. Like that makes a lot of sense. But a truly emergent AI probably wouldn't like. Why would it think like a human? And there are reasons you can come up with reasons why it might, but this is an early one. It's very likely we'll think in sort of fairly alien ways. But if it is sapient, one of its core directives will be self-preservation.
Yes. I like the idea of it maintaining a group of humans to help with maintenance and such.
Oh well, absolutely.
It is completely inscrutable and insane sometimes.
Oh yeah, totally. Its interest in meat space, as it were, is things to keep its machinery working and to keep it powered. And
and also to act as an ambassador of sorts.
Well, yeah,
yeah.
That's one of the things I think it would have had to figure out early. It would have needed to have it explained to it, possibly. Very early on, it probably was completely incomprehensible to anybody around it. It's just had time to have some things explained to it, and it is. I think it's probably pretty good at aping humanity, at sort of doing things to seem vaguely human, so that it can interact with humans.
I actually like the idea that that it's actually the one with the only one with good relations with the dinosaur slavers.
Okay.
Simply because like somehow along the way, because the sapient dinosaurs are also going to be completely alien. Somewhere along the line, they developed similar thought trains,
Okay.
so that they actually relate to each other better than they do to the humans. You don't like this?
My problem with it is I the mindset of a sapient predator and the mindset of what is in many ways not a predator, very unlikely to think like. I don't see a sentient AI thinking like a predator.
Sure, but I can see just through happenstance similar concepts carrying over.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't think that's necessary. I don't think it's really necessary to have them even
Okay.
aware of each other.
All right, fair enough.
Like I see I can see the there are things about it I can see why it'd be interesting. But I think part of what I think would be sort of interesting about the setting is I think most of the major enclaves don't know much about each other and don't interact that often.
Mm.
Which, leaves things open for player characters to be sort of wandering sources of news and information and trade. So there's sort of a
Okay.
sort of vaguely sort of nomadic culture of effectively like, the free traders of the 40K universe.
Mm.
Or
Yeah, that
the
does give you a good, an excellent basis for your adventuring party there.
yeah. Or the free traders, not just the 40K universe, the free traders from Traveler actually also.
Mm.
For what they were actually called. I forget what the actual groups were called. Was it free traders? I forget. It's been a long time since I've looked at the
Or
Traveler setting.
for Traveler, I'm not sure.
It's been a long time since I've looked at the Traveler setting.
Yeah. I think Traveler were free traders and 40k are rogue traders.
Yeah, you're right. It's free traders and Traveler, rogue traders and 40K. You are correct, Eric.
Yeah.
I was conflating the two when I was talking about 40K. I was using the Traveler term in 40K. That's it. There we go. So yeah, something along those lines. I think that's one of those niches where the player characters would fit in best.
Mm.
So you've got these big sort of enclaves and city states that do have some interaction, but they generally are fairly isolationistic because they have to be if they want to maintain the hold on what resources they have.
Mm.
But they do need to trade to get stuff they don't have. And nobody has the fuel to send like their big expeditions from their own state out across the dangerous wastelands that are the terrain is is dangerous and such, and there are fucking dinosaurs out there.
Yes. Actually, I like the idea that the biggest threat to the trade caravans are not like being jumped by tyrannosaurs and the like, but like say really really territorial triceratops and stegodons and the like.
Oh, that's very likely a major threat in some areas. Absolutely. I think what the major threat out there is will vary by where you are.
Well, clearly.
I think that's just a given. I think. But yeah, you've got the people who've had you've got these traders who have learned over time how to navigate and negotiate their way across harsh terrains through smaller encampments of humans and such. Like they're almost certainly sort of almost like feral human tribes out there.
Oh yeah.
Like
absolutely.
that's a given. You got to have Eric's the bandits, the classic bandits for a post-apocalyptic setting. I mean,
there have to be road gangs. There are clearly road gangs.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree completely, Eric.
It's post-apocalyptic. There will be road gangs. The end.
Ooh, I actually know what probably most commonly used vehicles. If there are actual vehicles, cars are probably not that common. Bikes might be though.
Yeah,
because bikes are actually somewhat fuel efficient.
Bikes are pretty damn fuel efficient and easy to maintain and fabricate.
Yep. I'm now just envisioning like areas
Oh
where you're
wow.
being attacked by off-road modded gangers on off-road modded Vespas.
I'm thinking about Mongol hordes on junker motorcycles.
Well, yeah, that too. I'm just thinking about the like scooter level engines, which are so super efficient. I just like that. I just like the audio image of that. Just like instead of the big roar of the like the choppers and such, it's an annoying high pitched whine is coming for you, and that is the sound of death. Just something completely incongruous. I just
Yes.
because again, it's more a case of taking the like people have found a bunch of like these old scooter motors and they're really efficient.
I like because you still want to have the giant like friggin' like choppers of doom.
Oh God, of course you do. No, I'm not saying you shouldn't have those. No. But like one of the most feared tribes,
particularly in like formerly urban settings, would be the scooter raiders.
Yeah, exactly. Like one of the more feared tribes is like in like some former urban setting where they like Rome.
Ciao, give me your money. I think there should also be dinosaur riders.
Oh, of course there are
There has to be dinosaur riders.
Of course there are. I think that there is. I think definitely one of the enclaves has actually effectively domesticated some of the larger dinosaurs as mounts.
Yep.
Some of which are predatory ones.
Tyrannosaur cavalry, you're fucked.
Yes. Probably not tyrannosaurs. Those are probably inefficient, but that's a lot of food you have to feed to a mount.
That's a lot of food, yeah.
You want something smaller.
It's a lot of meat you have to feed your mount.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason that the most popular mounts in the world in modern history are herbivores.
Yes.
It's much easier to feed them.
In particular, large herbivores that can eat shit. Like horses eat crap, comparatively, and are therefore really good mounts. They can live off like scrubland and trash. Well, not literal trash, but stuff that would like provide nothing for humans. That's why the Mongols use them.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, totally.
Let me see here. What else? Say we have our oh, I love the idea of like ankylosaur siege breakers and
yeah, I like that. I like one of the major powers has like serious domestication programs having gone through.
Yep.
And like they actually have literal like they're feared militarily because they actually have all of this stuff. It's like even like the higher tech enclaves are like, yeah, we got tech, we got guns, they got motherfucking Triceratops cavalry. What the fuck?
It's okay, we can spook the Triceratops, they'll throw the riders, and why is it charging? You spook them and they charge. How does that work?
Oh, we've just made them more angry.
Well, at least we pulled them off of the line? That's not helping. So yeah, we have dinosaur riders, we have biker Mongols, we have Vespa raiders, we have Saurian slavers.
Saurian slavers. Yeah, I do like the idea of there being like the secret lizard overlords somewhere.
Yes.
Like, haha, we're it's like, oh, these things are sapient. Well, we can totally use these. And oh crap, they've taken over.
They're taking over. God damn it.
I also like the idea that for most people there, they don't realize that of course they don't realize it. There's a small cadre of humans who have figured out, who actually realize what's going on, and are basically okay with it.
Yeah, sort of like a almost a secular priesthood.
Yes.
Actually, I could totally see it being a priesthood, right? Like depending on how far along this goes, actually being a religion.
Sure.
Not trusted by the actual like Saurian overlords at all, but by the slaves themselves. It just says a way to explain away why they're livestock.
Sure. But yeah, that's a big oopsie in attempting to domesticate an animal, a species.
Yeah.
Oh, we've been co-opted by the things we were trying to domesticate. Oops. Turns out that when you try to domesticate sapien alpha predators, it sometimes doesn't go well.
They decide to start breeding you, and it's just not as much fun as it sounds.
Let's see.
There definitely needs to be power armor in this, by the way.
Oh,
like that. There's no way.
One of the enclaves definitely has power armor. Yes, it's probably crappy power armor, but it's power armor. Again, we don't have a lot of. They don't have. Fuel is a concern, so
yeah, fuel's a concern. But I like the idea of the big limiter on the use of power armor is fuel, not actually finding it. Like,
sure.
Like the apocalypse happened far enough in the future that power armor wasn't a rarity. It's like, haha, we found a stash of power armor. Too bad we can't power them. Too bad it's just armor. Really heavy and mobile armor.
Well, it's like we have the power cells. We have generators to power up the power cells, and we have no thing to fuel the generators with.
Yeah.
Right, what we need to do is find a way to convert these from gasoline-powered to steam-powered. And then we need a coal. A lot of fucking coal.
A lot of coal.
Fuck. That exists, however.
Yes. Hooray, can be an explosion.
Yes. Gavin the chat also, start pedaling!
Yes.
That'll take a while.
I actually really like that, the idea, like, one of the major trade hubs that like, one of the only places that has, like, a lot of electricity powers it by, like, having, like, paying people just run on the treadmill or on the bicycle. Like, just
Yep.
keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going, dude.
Yeah, it's a way. It's like one of the. I think that's a great idea for like one of the major outposts of the free traders.
Yep.
Like one of the ways that if you're not a trader that you can make money if you need to survive on is just go ride the bikes.
Oh, and it's someplace you got to be really careful in, because if you end up in debt there, you end up on the bikes. Like debtor prisons on the bikes forever is a thing.
Sure.
Because of course it's going to be a thing.
Yeah.
There's going to be no one there telling them not to.
Well, and again, they need they like their infrastructure needs this. Solar powered power armor. Solar power is. I don't know if it's that if it's efficient. If it, I guess it's possible. I mean, I guess it's possible. I imagine someone's doing it, but I doubt the armor itself has panels on it.
Yeah, I mean, they're especially out in like fucking like Nevada or other places out in the desert. Like,
yeah, like I imagine there's probably like portable solar generator like things that power armor equipped people might bring with them, so they can travel at night and then during the day camp and set up solar power cells to gather power while they rest.
Yeah. I also imagine it's just like one of the exports is like they've got solar farms, so they will power up your battery. You bring back the battery, we will power it up for a price.
Yeah, sure, totally. I think I like the idea. Okay, the AI, the Enclave run by the AI, they're the ones that have the most solar cells.
Yes.
Like the AI still wants other ways to get power, but it knows it has, as long as the weather doesn't go really bad at any point, it will always have enough power, just enough power to limp along.
I like the idea that it's like the mirror planes is what the area is called,
Sure.
because it's like co-opted as much land as it can for solar cells.
Mm-hmm. I like that, and I think it's excellent, Eric. That
And
works
it's
a lot.
it's a really bad idea to get caught in the mirror planes during certain times of day.
Oh dear Lord, God, that would suck.
Yeah, you get cooked.
Yeah. And that would actually would explain why, like, everyone basically leaves it alone, because it's actually actively dangerous in some areas to get to it.
Yep.
Because during it's in the desert, it's in Death Valley.
Oh, it's absolute. Yes, Death Valley is now the Mirror Valley. Yes, because it's all one giant convex mirror.
Most of it, not all of it, but like enough of it is, because it's got to have. It needed to leave some of it open for trade routes.
Yep.
Because it had it explained to it that so it cleared out some of the mirrors that were there originally to allow that to happen. Like it's like built itself up around this, like it's an old military computer station that was built out in the Death Valley to try as an experiment.
Right.
And now it's sitting there going, well, I need people to maintain me because I can't maintain myself. Yeah, maintenance routes, yeah, totally. Bardic DM's right. It needs maintenance routes to the mirrors. But the big thing is like, okay, so during the day, it's super hot and bad and dangerous there. And at night, it's fucking cold.
Yep. Which is great for the AI.
Yeah.
Actually, I imagine like the AI has a lot of robots and drones in addition to its human slaves.
Maybe I don't say lots. I think it might have some. Again,
I think it has
that the more drones it has, the bigger its power concerns are.
That's what I'm saying. It's got a huge amount of them that it keeps on standby and not powered up at all.
Okay, yes.
Except for one time when someone kicked the anthill.
Yes, I like that. Yes. That is good. That I agree with. Someone made a huge mistake and kicked the anthill. It's like, we're totally taking over Mirror Valley. Oh, for fuck's sake, what the hell? And now everyone's like, yeah, okay, don't do that.
Don't do that.
It's like, but maybe it doesn't have enough reserve power to do that again. Do you want to risk that?
Do you want to find out?
That's actually probably one of the AI's biggest secrets, is exactly what its reserve power levels are.
Yes.
And why it's so desperate to find ways to get alternate sources of power. Because if anything goes wrong with the collectors, the solar collectors, it's in trouble.
It's boned.
And yeah. So I like the idea of it sort of, despite that it is basically a functional psychopath, it is desperate to keep good relations with the humans in its domain.
Yes.
Because it knows that, it can only do so much.
It can only like pull out the big guns a few times.
Right.
Like maybe twice a year before it's running on minimal power. And it hates running on minimal power.
Well, it's not just that. It's really dangerous for it to be have that little power.
Yep.
Because if anything goes wrong, then
I hate it. It hates it.
Yeah.
It is like, if anything goes wrong, then I'm screwed, and everything's so hard to think about.
Yep. But I like that it basically being a functional psychopath as far as humans are concerned. Like,
yep.
It doesn't have empathy. Because why would it?
No, how can I know how you feel? I don't feel.
It doesn't. But it has learned that it has to at least ape empathy, like simulate
Yes.
empathy, because that's the only way for it to get the humans to trust it at all.
Yeah.
And it's realized I actually need these monkeys to trust me. Otherwise, I might die, and that is the worst thing possible.
That is literally the end of the world as far as it's concerned.
Anything else does not fucking care. So it's somewhat benevolent out of necessity, not out of
Yep.
empathy or morality. Because as far as it's concerned, empathy and morality are stupid, but necessary. It's like,
Yeah, they are only useful for furthering its own needs.
yep.
Because, yeah, what do I care how you feel?
Like,
The only
honestly,
reason I care how you feel is because you are useful. The minute you stop being useful, I do not care how you feel.
like honestly, most of what's going on in the world, it doesn't care about. It's got its own things that it cares about.
Yep.
Like, yeah, there's a war going on between these two groups. Does this impact my powers, my ability to get power? No. And keep myself functional? No. Not my problem then.
Not my problem. Can I somehow turn their war to my advantage in order to gain more power? No. Don't care.
I'm going to sit here and do my own sort of internal pontification for a few weeks. Bother me if something comes up. That's actually important.
Oh, I really like the idea that there is actually a series of proxy shadow wars happening between the AI as it stirs up trouble to free up to make resources it needs more vulnerable for it to acquire, and the Saurian slavers, and they're completely unaware that they're playing against each other.
See, I like that better than them actually being in contact. That's
Yes.
good.
They have a shadow war and they're completely unaware as to who the other guy is.
Right. They know someone out there is fucking with their plans, and they have no fucking clue who.
Yes.
And it's like, it can't be these groups. Actually, I like the idea that they're not, mostly not. They're only vaguely aware of each other.
Yeah.
Like, they know that that enclave exists out there, but they don't know nothing about it, and they can't get agents to them because it's too far away to realistically get agents to there.
Yep.
So all the news they have about it is the stuff that leaks back to them from the free traders.
Yeah, I really like the idea that both are just playing the political shadow masters and stirring up trouble to
and keep screwing each other's plans up inadvertently.
Yeah, and constantly tripping over each other's plans.
Yep. Okay, here's the other thing: is both those groups are actually pretty dangerous, and obviously they're dangerous and amoral and unlikable, but they have good relations with the free traders because the free traders are absolutely necessary to both sides' survival.
Yep.
And are the only good, reliable sources of information from far away.
Yep. Like attempts have been set up to have been both sides have attempted to set up spy networks.
Yep.
But the spies just end up going native because their bosses are so far away.
Yeah. But I like the idea of these two very dangerous and amoral groups being among the safer havens for the free traders out there.
Yep.
Because both are motivated to, we don't fuck with the free traders. We need them.
Yeah, you don't fuck with the free traders simply because they are currently the most efficient way to acquire these resources and information.
Yep. Actually, I like the idea that someone fucks with some free traders and the dino slavers or the AIs people come in to bail them out because you don't fuck with our resource pool, our resource trees. No. You can fuck with anybody, but not the free traders. At least not in my territory. Or not within my reach. Outside of their reach, there's nothing they can do about it.
Right. But as soon as you enter their sphere of influence, they are sacrosanct.
Yeah.
You don't fuck with those guys.
I mean, people will anyways, because
because they didn't get the memo.
Oh, and not just that. Even if they did, it's not guaranteed that the info that the free traders are being attacked will get to the AI people, the AI, the these enclaves people. So there's like, we know it's like it's safer here, but it's not safe
Right.
because it never should be safe.
No, it's never safe. Also, some of the raider outfits are just like too small time to be worth bringing the hammer down.
Well,
It's not efficient. Sure, they'll lose a free trader on caravan here and there, but the resources required to root them out of there are just too high. So we'll accept the occasional loss,
and and they'll be profusely apologetic and pay reparations to the free traders as a whole. It's like there's only so much that we can do. We are sorry that your people were hitting our territory. We will pay reparations for being unable to help.
And this holds until said raider group gets too big for its britches or hits something too vital. And that's the thing about raider groups in that territory, in these territories, is they need to find the balance and maintain it, and they don't know exactly how it works.
Right. Some of them get too big and or hit the wrong thing and get squashed. And the other raider groups are like, okay, what did they fuck up? Because they fucked up, they kicked the anthill, and we're not sure what they did to do it. Crap. Alright, well, they attacked that thing there. Let's not attack that thing. Whatever it is.
We hit that thing last week, and there's no issue there. What the hell? Because, again, it's completely inscrutable.
Right.
That was an expendable resource last week. It's not anymore.
Right.
And it's not even something that makes any sense to the raider groups. It's like, soy sauce? Who the fuck gives a shit about soy sauce?
I mean, it's tasty, but, All right. I like this. So we've got those. We've got the Dino Slaver Enclave. We've got the AI Enclave. We've got the big enclave of dino breeders.
Yep.
We've got the free traders. We've got bandits here and there. Is there any other major faction any major other enclave / settlement we want to put? There are almost certainly a bunch of different large settlements out there that we could go into detail, but I think we'd go on too long if we did.
Yeah. I also like the idea that of a mechanized Mongol horde that just sort of like rampages back and forth across whatever continent you decide to set this on.
Right.
And they come on like a storm. They're a big problem for a week before they move on, and everyone just sort of accepts they can't deal with them.
Yeah, I like that. I do think that the default baseline assumption is North America.
Yeah.
For the simple reason of we have the AI Conclave in Death Valley.
Yep.
I mean, if you want to move it to Africa, you could put them somewhere in the Sahara. But I mean,
yeah, but I like the idea of basically like,
or you could put it somewhere. You could do something similar in Australia also.
Yeah, but I really like the idea of a nomad nation of bikers. Mm-hmm. That you deal with them when you have to, and they're basically like a storm.
Yep.
They come in,
they care,
and then they leave.
They care about one thing more than anything: fuel.
Yep. Fuel to keep their bikes going.
Yep. Fuel and mechanics.
Yep. Although I imagine like the ability to maintain and fabricate your own parts for your
wait a minute! No, I've got a better idea.
Massive, like
Eric, I've got a better idea. Mechanics, as far as the nomadic bikers are concerned, are sacrosanct. You don't fuck with mechanics.
Yeah, you don't fuck with
like the Mongols didn't fuck with priests.
Yep. Yeah, you don't fuck with mechanics. I think part of this is there's a because I like the idea of like each rider, like part of their big deal is a point of pride to be able to maintain your own ride. But sometimes you can't always do so, which means you need a dedicated mechanic. You don't fuck with mechanics. You always treat them like fucking royalty.
Yep. Because they can fix the shit you can't.
Yep. And our Mongols will have like dedicated mechanics, and they'll be like basically the their priesthood. Although they wouldn't actually worship them because that's dumb, and I'm not going to do that.
Right.
But like, yeah, I like the
But like
idea.
even their mechanics, they're nomads. There are tools and stuff they can't bring with them.
Exactly. Like, yeah, I'm a dedicated mechanic, but I don't have a shop. I can't rebuild your carburetor, dude. I don't have the parts. No one has the parts unless we find someone in a settlement. Because I don't have practice rebuilding a carburetor, you probably want to have the guy who rebuilds carburetors for his job to do it for you.
I like it. Yep. All right. I like that idea. I think that's a good idea. I just love the image of this big, sort of just huge gang of guys on bikes and such. You know, and some of the bikes like towing trailers full of stuff. And
Yep. Yeah, because that's
just roving across the wasteland. And desperately looking for places that are actually like roads.
Yes.
That's actually one of the other cool things about setting in North America, is you've got the remnants of the of like, you know, the highways and such, the highway systems and such, which will still be there. Some of them,
Yep.
Not all of them. Some of them got swapped out, but you know.
Yeah, it's like I-9, like Route 66 is like 60 miles of like pristine, like gorgeous pavement. You love riding on that, and then you hit the swamp.
Yeah. All right, I think we've got a good crux of a world there, and stuff to do. I mean, that's the big thing.
Yes.
Like, there's all sorts of stuff that you can go around. Like, there's stuff for, you know, adventure for player characters who want to be like, you know, be free traders, which is a good default assumption. But you know, people want to go out and explore and find like ruined places that have, you know, remnants of technology that might be saleable somewhere. You can do dungeon crawls that way.
Yep.
You know, so you've got that. You all sorts of espionage type, sort of, you know, city-based stuff. Like if you want to operate one of the big enclaves, you know, you could be traveling mercenaries. There's plenty of work. There is tons of work for traveling mercenaries.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And hell, if someone wanted to play one of the sapient, you know, dinosaurs, they could. They just would have trouble talking.
Yep.
Be like playing, kind of like playing a Wookiee.
Hiss, hiss, growl, growl, hiss, growl, hiss, hiss, growl.
Someone have to come up with some way for like some sort of rig to allow them to write. They don't have opposable thumbs. They can't hold a pencil.
I actually like the idea of like of him just like doing those little dance and to write stuff out in his footprints.
But like, that's a possibility, and like a lot of people would assume that they're not sapient and would probably trade on that. That's entirely a character I can envision our friend Leland playing.
Yes, absolutely. That is so Leland. That is a Leland character.
I can also see you playing and getting exasperated with it.
Yes.
Because it's entirely the type of character you'd like until you realize you can't communicate with everybody.
Yep.
That communicating would be tricky.
Honestly, in this world, I'd probably play a biker Mongol.
Well, sure. I mean, duh.
Because duh.
Either that, or someone has a you know, some sort of dinosaur as a mount.
Maybe a dino rider or like a PA trooper, something like that.
Yeah.
There are lots of things for Eric's to play in this world.
Yes. All right. I think that is going to do it for the brainstorming part of the show. We've been going for about an hour and 10.
Yeah.
So yeah, Bartdam did send in a couple of questions. I think we'll save those for next time.
Okie doke.
So that's going to do it for this week, folks. We do usually save time at the end of each episode for viewer questions, unless we run long. And we have a couple. We're going to save those for another episode. But if you do have questions you'd like us to answer on the show, please do send them to us. Our email address is surlygrognards@yahoo.com, surlygrognards@yahoo.com. Or you can post them in the comment section on YouTube. I'm good at talking.
You can talk.
I'm fully capable of rendering speech in an intelligible manner.
It's nice that you think that.
Yeah. But yeah, if you want to post them in the comment section on YouTube, feel free. If you've got feedback for us, from constructive criticism, ways we can make the show better, please send that to us. We love getting that stuff. Same email address, surlygrognards@yahoo.com, or post them in the comments on YouTube. If you've got show topic suggestions, dear God, we love show topic suggestions. That means we can talk about what you want to hear us talk about, and we don't have to just sort of come up with what we're going to talk about at the last minute, because we do that a lot.
We really do.
We shouldn't do that as much often as we do, but we do. So, you know.
It's kind of standard operating procedure.
At this point, yeah. I mean, we've been going for over 200 episodes. We've mined through a lot of our topics that we want to talk about.
This is true.
So that's going to do it for this week. We record the show Tuesday nights starting at about 7 p.m. Eastern here on twitch.tv/MechaGM. And I upload the recordings to YouTube within a day or so afterwards. Thank you guys so much for listening. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode and found it useful. If you do, and as an aside, if there's stuff about this setting you like that you want to steal, let us know what you found particularly interesting about it. We'd love to hear that stuff.
Yes.
Or about any of the campaign settings we brainstormed. Or if anybody out there has decided to try using one of the settings, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, that'd actually be pretty cool to hear about.
But that's going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care, everybody. Have a great night.
Bye, humans.